Let's get it started. This one-term thing, why are people taking it with a pinch of salt? Because if the politicians themselves are knocking this, are they almost indicting themselves by saying that, don't ever believe what we tell you on our campaign trail, because we do not mean what we say, if they are saying that this is political theatrics to probably just get himself into power? Are they all indicting themselves, talking about all the politicians and the political parties knocking this down?
Breaking news, my country people. Charles Soludo don't expose himself. He has come out to let Nigerians, the people of Anambra State, to know say all the promises where they make, including now and before he was elected, all those things are false promises. You know, he has come out to talk say anybody will go come out talk say he won't do one turn or say make you know say that person make you know say that person needs to go check himself for psychiatric hospital. And again, that Peter Obi dey lie to Nigerians, say na political talk. As Peter Obi come out to tell Nigerians say won't do single tenor, invariably what he's trying to say is that all the promises where himself they make to the people of Anambra State na lie. Say once he enter office, he no go do am. You know, at times when you sit down, you want to discredit somebody. Somehow, indirectly, you dey point finger at yourself. My people, they make proverbs say when you dey point one finger to somebody, say 4 other fingers are pointing back towards to you. Because now APC people don't capitalize on the matter. Say Peter Obi na lie, they lie. Say there is no way he can do one tenor. That is political talk. So what all of them where they talk now, they try to tell Nigerians, be say all the promises what would they make before campaign, they are all political talk. Make una not take us by our word. Peter Obi has come out also to react to this trending matter. He said, if service is a motive, turning the tiles in 4 years is possible. I still find it battling that my decision to do one term of 4 years, if given the mandate to rule this country, is generating so much agitation. I beg, make una ask me. The guy said I want to do only 4 years. So what is Charles Soludo's problem? What is the problem of other people who carry on for head? Why is there so much agitation over this issue? By this feeling, we are doubting the fact that a sincere leader can achieve much more in 48 months. I have never been desperate in pursuit of power or anything else for that matter. There are some traits associated with desperation, which is in no way in any of my political behavior in the past and now, like engaging in overly aggressive rhetoric or action to prove a point or gain attention, becoming overly defensive or reactive to criticism, often to the point of appearing paranoid, making unrealistic or unfulfillable promises to win support or approval, resulting to personal attack or character assassination to discredit opponents, or frequently changing position or policies to suit immediate political needs. What drives me is not personal ambition, but a deep commitment to see Nigerian work, and if the sacrifice required of me is 4 years of sincere, accountable leadership, so be it. Throughout my political journey, I have never been involved in thuggery, the snatching of ballot boxes, or any form of electoral malpractice. I challenge anyone, conduct your investigation, you will find no stain of rigging or violence associated with my name. I have always chosen the path of peace, principle, and civility. Ask those who have contested against me, none were ever denied their rights, framed, or forcefully accused. None was asked to place their advert material or break the bank to do so. I believe in fair competition, not manufactured victory. In 4 years, we can confront corruption head on, redirect resources to priority areas. For instance, the trillions spent to acquire new presidential jet and other unnecessary expenses at this time would have been channeled into education, healthcare, or infrastructure. Within the same period, we ensure that the rule is sacrosanct and the rule of law is strictly followed. Within the same period, we can conduct free, fair, and credible election. Leadership to me is not all about entitlement. It is about service if given the mandate. For just one term, I will dedicate every moment to building a Nigerian that works for all. That is Peter Obi tweet concerning this issue where they give Charles Soludo and APC nightmare. This guy has said, give me just one term, I'm going to deliver. The constitution made it clear that the tenure is 4 years. The constitution did not make it mandatory that anybody when enter that place, you must complete 8 years. Guys, let me not just talk too much. I want you guys to watch Kenneth Okonkwo and hear what he has to say concerning this issue. So guys, let me not take too much of your time. Just take a look. Drop your comment on this in the comment.
First and foremost, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria made it clear. In section 135, subsection 2, and section 180, subsection 2 of the Constitution is very clear. The term of a president or a governor is 4 years. 4 years. The Constitution was direct. He said the president, after spending 4 years in office, vacates his office. At times, politicians behave as if they don't have any job. So when somebody says he's going to spend only 4 years, he simply stated a constitutional provision. But here is just a little addition. The Constitution says you are no longer qualified to contest if you have contested for that position twice in previous elections. And this is by section 137, subsection 1B, and section 187, subsection 1B. So the issue here is this. If you say you want to contest one term, that is your own idea. That is your own opinion. You are entitled to it. In Nigeria and in some African countries, where elections are deemed not to be free and fair, that's where you have all these unnecessary arguments. Why did I say that? Even abroad, you're not sure, even when you're an incumbent, whether if you contest, whether you will win. That is where you will know that your term of office is not 8 years, it's not 2 terms, it's 1 term. So it ought not to even be a point of argument. Because even if you are an incumbent, if you recontest, you can fail. The only thing the Constitution says is that if you fail 100 times, if you have not been elected twice, you are still qualified to be governor or president. So for me, I do not see any issue whatsoever, except, like you said, distrust of themselves, and 2, because of the belief that there is no free and fair election. If there is free and fair election, then the issue of 2 term, 8 years would not arise. But here is another issue. Because of our rotational arrangement, which has this proposition of 8 years for South, 8 years for North, politicians now do not want to place themselves in a disadvantaged position. Because 4 years having been taken by a Southern politician, if you are a fresh politician and you want to do another 8 years, you will know that you are dead on arrival. So it's a political strategy on its own for you to accede that you will do 4 years. It is not because the politician did not want to do 8 years, no. But he knows that he has only 4 years left from the Southern, remaining term. But here is another issue. By agreeing you will do 1 year, you do 4 years, you have also agreed that if there is any other Northerner that says he will do also 4 years, then both of you are at the same level of equity, because there would be no injustice either section. So there's nothing wrong in a party, for instance, especially an opposition party that doesn't have an incumbent, saying in order that Nigerians will be free to trust them, that they are going to have a transitional government whereby whoever is going to contest would have to agree to do 1 term and do not exercise his constitutional right to recontest. A party can do that, so that whether they present a candidate from the North or from the South, the Nigerians from either section will not feel that they have been betrayed or an injustice meted out to them. For instance, if a Northerner wins in another political party and commits to do 4 years, then what it means is that the South and the North has shared for 4 years like they did during the Yaradua Goodluck Jonathan period, and there will be no injustice. So there is nothing, absolutely nothing that ought to raise concerns or arguments. But like you said, a man who kills by the sword does not like people to wave sword at his back. So politicians have made themselves very untrustworthy. So they go the extra mile to prove themselves when they make any proposition.
All right, Mr. Okonkwo, that's noted. A lot of people might have focused on the what in terms of what was said, but you've drawn some focus to the why this move might have been made in terms of the rotational arrangement and being a political strategy. But let's look more, examine at the why a bit closer. Do you think there are any personal reasons that might not be overt for this declaration being made by the aspiring president of Nigeria?
No. It's purely a political strategy. There is nothing hidden about it because every politician would want to complete his 2 terms if he has the opportunity. But of course, if this were 2023, the same politician and presidential candidate or aspirant would not make the same promise. Like I said, as it stands today, a Southerner has taken 4 years. So it will be political suicide for you to come and say you want to do 8 years. Nobody will vote for you, not even from South or from the North. So it is purely a political strategy, nothing else. Anybody telling you because he wants to be like Mandela or want to be like this, no, that's not true. But again, the person may want to tell you that just for you to believe he will do 4 years. He may want to tell you that he can still achieve his basic objectives within 4 years. Just to encourage you to know that he is serious in not trying to exercise his constitutional right to recontest election. So there is nothing beyond political strategy. That's what it is.
All right, some political scientists will usually say that we missed a major turning point in our national democracy, whereby we did not see through that particular law or that particular policy that would have become law, whereby it would have been 1 year, 6 years. Do you think Nigeria would have been better off if we had decided to go down that road than trying to do 2 terms or maybe of 8 years?
Now, from day one, from 1999, I have been in support of 1-term presidency, 1-term executive tenure. And the reason is very clear. The issue of 2 terms have introduced a whole lot of politicization of Nigeria, which leads to division and balkanization, which leads to the elites manipulating the followership with religious and ethnic bigotry that is non-existent amongst them. The reason is this. All this issue of whether the president should appoint the INEC chairman will disappear on its own when you have 1-term presidency, because no president will now be able to appoint any INEC chairman that will supervise his own election. If you do 8 years of 2 terms, you don't have 2 years for yourself as a president because you will use it politicking. So eventually, you will spend state resources, you will spend state time, you will spend the bureaucracy of state for politics. 1-term presidency will first and foremost secure the issue of rotation between North and South. And you can now make it constitutional and it will not be breached because you just have 1 term. And when it is 1 term of 6 years, you have nothing to lose if it is 2 terms of 8 years. Because you, from the one when you settle in, it is for legacy. Haven't you noticed that every president in power is always reluctant to sign electoral reforms in his first term in office? The reason is because he wants to use the jaundiced Electoral Act to rig his own election before, when he wins the second time, when he does not have any other attempt to contest for, he will not be willing to sign Electoral Act or even constitutional amendment that would take us forward. So, but if it is 1 term, from day one, the president that is coming in is willing and bold enough to sign every legacy legal reforms that would have made us to be in the first superpower nation by now. Honestly, we don't have any need for 2 terms of 8 years. 1 term of 6 years would have been ideal. I supported it from 1999. I've been writing an article about it. It's quite unfortunate because since we don't have free and fair election, that is another way to push us closer to free and fair election, because no president will be willing to have his legacy soiled internationally and nationally that he is an election rigger. So if he's not going to be the one supervising his own election, our election will get cleaner and cleaner until we get to the best time. Our economy will get stronger and stronger because he comes in immediately and he will not talk about using the resources for politics, but using it for development because he cannot use it for his own election. So it is all good, 1 term, politically, socially, economically, and otherwise. And everybody should please work hard so that we can have it.